Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my co-host, Tim, the Powerful Man Matthews. How you doing, brother?
Doing very well. Yeah, very well indeed. I'm actually, as you know, one of the amazing men in the movement is in the UK. He lives in the US, but he's over in the UK for a wedding. And he's asked if I would meet up with him and Stu as well. We're meeting in Chester, so he's asked Stu to meet up with him too. So I have the pleasure of going to meet that fine man this evening. I'm sure there'll be some good conversation. So I'm looking forward to that.
They're not going to be good. They're going to be great conversations. That's going to be
Oh,
fantastic for you guys to
yeah.
get together.
Yeah. Do you know how cool it was as well of Amelia? It's like 2 hours away, right? So it's 5 p.m. now. We'll be done maybe by 5:30. I'll get changed and so on. Maybe set off by 5:45, 6, probably 5:45. Get there 7:45. And she said, "Oh, so what are you gonna do? Just are you gonna drive back or what?" Yeah, I'm just gonna go for a couple of hours and drive back. Why do you just stay over? I never even considered it. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, why do you just stay over so you can relax, enjoy your time with him? You're not rushed, and then just drive back in the morning. You can stop at the gym on the way back and do your thing, and you'll be back. I'm like, wow, brilliant idea. I was like, right, I'll get there. 2 hours take me to get there. I'll eat, have some fun, drive back 2 hours. Hopefully, I'll be back before midnight. If not, half 12, 1 a.m. But then I've got to get up for my workout, and then I've got to, you know, and that's kind of the topic that I want to go into today. We're on, been speaking to some of the men lately. Some of this came up for some of the guys at the Alpha Reset, and it was the topic of kind of making life hard, right? And what a lot of the guys were telling us, there were many things in their life they didn't enjoy doing. And that's the key word here, enjoy, right? So things like one of the guys had his to-do list of things around the house that just weren't getting done. He kept meaning to get them done. He'd start them, but then they wouldn't be brought to completion because of one reason or another. Then 18 months later, they still weren't done. And it'd annoy him. It'd remind him every time he saw it. His wife would get annoyed by it. She'd bring it up. Obviously, it symbolized him not bringing things to completion and not honoring his word and all that other stuff as well that women want to see. And the reason for that was he was telling himself that he should get it done because he can do it. Yeah, in reality, he didn't really want to do it, hence why he kept avoiding it. And I don't want to say he didn't have the time because he chose to do other things with that time. So technically, he did have the time. He just didn't want to do it. And what came out of it was the clarity that, hey, do you know what? I could just hire an interior designer to finish off that one room, take a half a day, and be done with it. I could hire a gardener and they would do those things in the garden once every 2 weeks. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to think about it. I could hire a cleaner, and when I finish work and I walk in on an evening and the house is a mess and it stresses me out and I have to tidy it up, instead, I could make sure the house is just nice and tidy. And it's the idea that so often we get it fall into a trap of making things hard and pushing through, because perseverance is a great strength of a business owner, right? We push through, we persevere. But like with anything, there comes a time when a strength can become a weakness. For example, tonight, I could have made it easy for myself. Didn't even enter my head. I was going to make it hard for myself and drive for a few hours either way to get up, to get home late, not really be able to enjoy my time with this fine man because I'm watching the clock, because I have to set off. So I'm really there, but I'm not really there. I'm caught in two places. And for this guy who's got these, jobs around the house that he's going to pay someone to do, instead he would doing it himself. But there's an energetic ROI, return on investment, that happens when we choose to stop doing the things we enjoy and we choose to stop making life hard and actually allow life to be a little bit easier and embrace a little bit more enjoyment and happiness along the way. Yes, we may pay some money out. However, the return on investment that we can get back through the increased mood, the increased happiness, the increased enjoyment and fulfillment in life by maybe filling that time going on a date with your wife or having some alone time or just even relaxing. It doesn't even need to be filled with anything to do. You could just relax for half an hour. What a crazy idea, right? But the raise in the mood and everything that we get from doing that, and how that can then be taken and channeled into your relationship or into your business, can produce far bigger results than the cash you pay out on taking a thing off your plate that you don't want to do. But whenever we talk about this with the men, so often they're resistant to it in the beginning. And I want to talk about, why do you think that is? Like, why do you think men, business owners, often fall into the trap of making it hard for themselves?
Easy answer.
Go for it.
All of you guys listening to this have a similar story. The story goes something like this. I can out hustle anybody. I can outwork the other guy. Put it on my shoulders. I can take it on. I can shoulder the burden. I've got this. I'm
strong enough. I'm man enough.
I can pull myself up with my own bootstraps. Yep.
Yeah. We don't need to pay someone else when I can do it.
Exactly. And so this story has served us. Like, I had the same freaking story, served us so well in our 20s, maybe even our 30s, as we were building our empire, so to speak, building our business, building what we were trying to build to get where we wanted to go. And as this served us then, it is a disservice to us now. So it's not. It's actually what's causing us in part to spin our wheels, right? It's this mentality that we should do it all. We did a course. I did a masterclass. Part of one of the masterclasses that I did, Tim, is where guys can sit down and break down what they do during a day and what their hourly rate is and where they're spending their time. You're familiar with this because you and I have done it together. And when we do coaching individual guys, so we do one-on-one coaching, which most people aren't aware of, but we do it. And so I sit down every time with a new client and I have them grab their calendar from the week before, right? Because you can't, otherwise you just subconsciously set yourself up. And then moving forward for the next week, what they do. And they put all the activities they do into one of, usually it's 4 to 5 slots. First we figure out what their hourly rate is worth. So what is your time worth? Obviously, we're all smart enough to know that our time is invaluable, but what is your time worth from a job point of view as a man, right? Is it worth $100 an hour? Is that what you get paid at your work, so to speak, as an owner? Is it worth $2,000? Is it worth $10,000 if you land a new contract? And all the time, almost all the guys spend most of their time in low dollar activities that are unfulfilling, they do not like, and are not producing the results that they want to. And to your point, Tim, when we get them to get somebody else to do that crap, and then of course we have to change the paradigm, because there's a paradigm shift in there, because otherwise they'll fill it up with more crap.
Yeah, there's an upper limit.
Yep.
And we'll work through.
And then we get them to focus their time where their highest value is, right? The guys end up working less and making more and are happier. They bring in the au pair, the nanny, they bring in the gardener, they bring in the person to wash their car, so they're not sitting in the driveway washing their car, and they're able to do things. Now, here's the difference. Some guys go out and wash their car because they don't know what else to do. Some guys go out and wash their own car because they like it. But most guys go out to wash their car because they're avoiding doing other things. And they use it as an excuse. The thing that happens with men that go through, well, the alpha reset, since we've been talking about that recently, and I just got back from it, and so did you, they actually enjoy spending time with their family. They actually find pleasures and things that fill their cup. They actually find things they love to do. And then guess what? Their car gets dirty. Whoa. Then they take it to a car wash and get it detailed, and it's no big deal, right? Because they're actually filling their cup. And when you're filling your cup, guys, and you guys all know this as business leaders, when you're feeling on cloud 9, you're feeling great, and you have expansiveness and you have time, that's when the ideas, the great ideas, start percolating. And not only do they percolate, but you start to see the pathway to success. When your head's down and you're getting shit done, which you're great at, you can't look up and see the horizon. You can't see around the corner to what is coming next. And we all have different skill sets when it comes to that. And you don't have to do everything. In fact, you shouldn't.
Yeah, you shouldn't. And I don't know whether you listened, you guys listening, the Alpha Reset, the Alpha Recap episode, 2 episodes back. I read out one of the messages that we received from one of the men upon returning home. And this is part of the transition that he has gone through. And the thing with this is, I'm going to change the angle a little bit of this and talk about environment as well, right? Because it's one thing you doing the things that bring you the least enjoyment because of the story that you're telling yourself, to Doug's point. What's also important to consider is what is being reflected back to you, because your environment is always reflecting who you have been or who you are becoming. So, in terms of an energetic ROI, you can take inventory and look at a whole host of things. One, the things that you're doing in your calendar that you don't enjoy doing, that you could easily have other people doing, but you're not. And if you did, you could then channel that energy, that life force, to other things that would bring you more happiness and more joy. At the same time, what about the clothes that you wear? How do you feel when you put them on? Do you feel good in them? Or do you, if you're wearing clothes that, you should have thrown away 2 years ago, 5 years ago, clothes that are a little bit torn, don't really fit very well, you don't really put an effort into your appearance. But then again, also, what about your appearance? Maybe you've not had a haircut for 3, 4 months, 5 months, and you need one, but you just, it can wait. What about the car that you drive, for example? Now, I'm not saying you have to go out and buy some extravagant car, but again, it's an environmental thing too. Some people enjoy driving a car that may be a little bit older. Cool, awesome. That's the key thing. When you get into it, how do you feel? Do you feel good? Does it remind you of where you were going and who you were becoming? Or do you feel a bit heavy and do you feel a bit, I'd really like to get this car changed, but just not got around to it. 6 months go by, 12 months go by, 18 months go by. What about the men around you? The quality of the conversations that you're engaged in. Maybe you don't have many great guys around you. I know I didn't for a long time in my life. And the conversations, Doug talks about this, it's kind of like remember when. The remember when friends. I used to have friends where I'd meet up with them and they'd want to just, great people, amazing, amazing guys. We just wanted different things. They wanted to drink a lot and talk bad about the partners and complain about their job and, take drugs and all sorts of other things. And that's their choice. A lot of people do it. But how did I feel in that? Did it charge me up or did it drain me? It drained me. So this is where you get to take inventory, because everything you do, everything you have in your life is either going to be a drain or a charge. And the more charges that you are able to have in your life, be it from the priorities, like Doug was saying with the calendar, to the other things I've mentioned, that's when your cup begins to overflow. And that's one of the ways where your overflow can then spill into the cups of the people you love. It becomes easy. Transparently, there was obviously we go through phases and stages of growth. A few weeks ago, I was feeling as though Amelia didn't appreciate me. And when I looked at it and I caught it pretty quickly, the reality is I wasn't appreciating myself.
Mm.
I wasn't doing the work on myself to meet my own needs, to fill my own cup. Partly because some of the things I did, I weren't really landing for me anymore. But also because, like Doug was saying a moment ago, I'd also stopped knowing what I wanted to do to fill my cup. So it was easier for me to stay busy. So I was going on my phone a bit more. I was just hitting the gym more, which was great, but also, kind of a distraction to a degree. I was then just working more, which again was great. And I was just getting involved in things that I didn't need to get involved in. Been more busy than I was productive or effective would be a better word. So look, if this resonates, there's no shame around this. We all go through this. You will continue to go through this as you cycle through different stages of growth and you hit upper limits and you break through them and your ceiling becomes your floor. We all do. But the key thing is for you to start to tune in to what is it, how many drains you have in your life and how many charges. An exercise you could do is to think about the 5 territories and list things into one of two categories. Get a piece of paper. In the right hand column, write a plus at the top of the paper. In the left hand column, write a minus. Divide it into two. And then just take inventory. Okay, the projects I'm involved in. Is it a plus or a minus? Does it drain me or charge me up? The conversations I have, the friends that I have, the clothes that I wear, the food I eat, my health, my body, my fitness, my bank account. Go through the entire gamut. The more time you spend on this, the better. Don't have anything as being in the middle. There is no fence. That line down the middle of your paper is not a fence. So get them on one side, the charge or the drain, and then have a look. How many drains do you have versus how many charges? What I can tell you is the men that we work with who have charges, the majority of the things on their paper are charges and who continually work to get charges into their life. They're the guys, like Doug was saying, who earn more and work less. They're the guys where these random synchronicities and coincidences just line up and they just have a random conversation with somebody, a random point, and it leads to a 6-figure deal or a contact that they needed to make. Or we've heard of so many crazy coincidences from the men that it's really hard to explain it. The only thing you can really say is that they're living in alignment with themselves and how they feel like they should be living.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. So, guys, I mean, it's a matter of taking action. Go back and listen to what Tim said. Grab out a sheet of paper. And I realize some of you guys are running or driving your car while you're listening to this. But what you can do is schedule time on your calendar to take inventory and then take action. Get those things on the minus side off of your plate so you can have more freedom and abundance to get things on the plus side. And as we always say in a moment of insight, take massive action. And gentlemen, if you're interested in going deeper, if you're interested in doing more, go over to thepowerfulman.com, click start now. And you have the opportunity to speak with one of our advisors to see if this program is right for you, what we call the activation method, where you can be activated going from deer to wolf and gain the life that you deserve. Until next time, guys, we'll see you on The Powerful Man Show.